All right. Okay. So people were wondering who was the third face, who was the third face on the thumbnail, and I saw this story, and this person has gotten no news coverage whatsoever, and I find this gentleman, this father's story, just as tragic as the previous two. And nobody's talked about it. Nobody cares as far as I'm concerned, but I care. And so Mr. Kevin Doherty was murdered by Massachusetts trans activists arrested in fatal shooting of father after school drop-off just 1 day after Minneapolis trans massacre. Police in Shrewsbury, Massachusetts say a man was killed Thursday morning after confronting another man over graffiti at a local park. You can see this person here is graffitiing houses with GLM, BLM, Free Palestine, Free Congo. Surely
that's their own house. That is just their own house.
Right, correct. But we're talking about the graffiti that's going on. So the graffiti is in the local park, but this is his house, right, that he's drawn the stuff on. And he drew the same stuff in the park, right? So graffiti at a local park. It has since been discovered that the shooting is trans-identifying male who has a criminal record. We'll get into the criminal record because that pops up again in a very similar way to the previous Irania story. While officers were responding, dispatch advised that they could actually hear shots on the 911 call. When officers arrived, they located a victim, provided medical attention, and that victim was transported to a local hospital where tragically he died of his injuries. The victim, a 57-year-old man whose name has not been released, but we have it, was shot multiple times. He had just dropped off his 6-year-old child at school before encountering the suspect. The gentleman who was shot was returning from walking his 6-year-old child to school when he interacted with the man on the bridge. It appeared that the man was doing some type of spray painting, so graffiti on the bridge, and this gentleman was like, "Hey, we don't do that. You know, this is our public park bridge. Like, we don't graffiti here." He took a picture of the man, and then that started the altercation. Police later arrested the alleged shooter, identified on social media as Shasha Shakur, and legally as Snehal Ansh Shrivastava.
If I can't pronounce your name, leave. That's my official position at this point.
The residence was covered in graffiti with slogans including Free Palestine, Free Congo, BLM, GLM, and Ganga Gardens. A sign in the window of the house said that reads, Shasha Shakur also confirms the social media account username. And I'm not sure if this one here has the full thing, but the story of this man, a father of 3 who was scheduled to get married later this month, was fatally shot after confronting a man he saw spray painting graffiti on a bridge in Shrewsbury, Massachusetts. Kevin Doherty, 56, took pictures of 26-year-old Snehal Shrivastava, allegedly defacing the ground, and got into an argument with him shortly before 9 a.m. on August 28th, according to a report by Fox 25 Boston. The dispute escalated into a physical altercation, according to police. Doherty, who was walking home after dropping his 6-year-old son off at school, called 911 during the struggle. Dispatchers reported hearing multiple gunshots, and then Doherty telling them that he had been shot before the line went silent. Shrivastava, who did not have a license to carry a firearm, was arraigned on 1 count of armed assault, a firearm without a license. Prosecutors later upgraded the charges to murder, and he was held without bail. Sarah Schofield, Doherty's fiancée, released a statement expressing her distress at her partner's passing.
Sarah
No one should ever...
Schofield. So, Steve? Just assuming that Sarah Schofield is also not Sarah.
What?
Never mind.
Okay. No one should ever endure the trauma of canceling wedding arrangements only to make funeral ones. This loss and the fractures it created are so severe it makes healing seem impossible. You know, one day you're walking your daughter to school, and you're walking back, and you see the crazy tranny activist spray painting on your local bridge, and you're like, hey, in Massachusetts. So he's probably like, hey, yeah, you can't be doing that here. It's a park. And then, you get killed for it, and you get to bleed out on the telephone with police officers. Congratulations. Now, like our previous story, an evil person machete-attacked victims believes accused Shrewsbury killer should have been in prison. Because, he had been, he'd been arrested before for a machete attack. And the judge was like, you know what? You get to not be in jail for the rest of your life. A man who was attacked with a machete 3 years ago is haunted by the tragic murder of an innocent father who had just dropped off his 6-year-old son at school. 6-year-old son, sorry. 26-year-old was arraigned on Friday on one count of armed assault to murder and 2 counts of carrying a firearm, but again, it got upgraded to murder. That includes, Boston News 25 has found that Shrewsbury has a violent criminal history dating back to 2018. You don't say. Many priors, huh? Now, 2018, 8 years ago, means that he was quite literally 18 years old when this started. Because he's 26 now, 8 years ago. 18.
That's when the records start.
That's when his record starts anyways. Who knows what was sealed before then. That includes a disturbing attack in a Regal Cinema parking lot in 22 involving a man who says he was attacked at random. He started circling my car, made several laps around my car. I had no idea who it was. I stepped out of the car. He tried running me over, said victim Nitish Sharma. Very Massachusetts-sounding name. He swung at me with a machete. That is attempted murder. That should be, 15 years, 25 years, something like that. I grabbed the blade. He was swinging at my face. I said, I don't know you. I don't know you. As he's trying to kill you with machete. He should be in jail right now. That's an innocent person that died for no reason, said Sharma. That child did not deserve to lose a father, and that guy should be in prison. Simple as. Like, I don't get it.
Instead of giving these people bail, put them in the bailer.
Court paperwork cites failure to prosecute. Failure to prosecute a guy swinging a machete at another guy in a parking lot. That, to me, sounds like attempted murder. Like, pretty clear. And if, let's say he just got 5 years in 2022, that means he wouldn't be out for 2 more years. And that father would be married with his 3 children and, not getting buried and forgotten about in national news in a couple days. Oh, look at this. Look at this. My prosecuting attorney wasn't even given a chance to defend me in court because his lawyer presented this psychologist's expert report stating that he's unfit. Yeah, this fine young gentleman here is
unfit for society.
Well, if you're you just got to go away. It's time to put you in the asylum. Like, if you're criminally insane, if you can't be in society, it's time for you to go. It's time for you to go. And so the alternative is like, well, we can't like try them. They're unfit. So we're just going to release them so they can do the thing again.
If they're unfit. No, I'll leave it at that.
Court records show Shrewsbury underwent competency. I can't read that, so maybe I'm incompetent, huh? Evaluations 3 separate times. Shrewsbury was found in contempt of court at one point for not continuing to receive mental health treatment. He didn't just throw him away? He'd been sent to jail last month. Had he been sent to jail last month, that innocent family member would be alive right now. He would be spending his weekends with his kids like we are. He's an evil person who should be held accountable. Shrewsbury's criminal history includes the alleged assault and battery of a family member in 2018 and a home invasion involving a hammer in 2020. A machete attack in 2022, and then in 2025 he hit the big leagues and he finally murdered somebody with a handgun. But, so that's why I put him as the third head on the thumbnail, because I thought that was another important story to talk about.
And now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the police charged him with 2 counts of firearm possession?
I'm not sure if he had like 2 firearms or how that works. Listen, okay, just throw the book at him. Whatever it is, I don't care. Give him a freaking, jaywalking citation.
Throw a bus at him.
Yeah, literally throw him under the bus. Sigatriga says, just pointing out, y'all are heartless sometimes. Yeah. No. The mentally ill man murdered a father of 3. And he got away with it because the judges and the court system refused to charge him. Yeah, that's us being heartless. Yeah, us wanting him to be alive and the murderer in jail or in an asylum. That's us being heartless. So now the left has this fake heartless, this fake like empathy, right? Where they're like, we gotta be equitable with our justice, okay? It doesn't matter that he attempted to kill somebody with a hammer in 2020 and a machete in 2022, and broke into his family's home in 2018. All that stuff's not relevant. We need to make sure that this man gets restorative justice and mental health, okay? And then when he eventually murders somebody, well, it's not our fault. We were just being kind. It's fake kind. It's faux niceness, right? You are being kind to the evildoer, which is cruelty to the innocent person. And in this case, the innocent person gets murdered by this person who should never have been a part of society in the first place.